Alrighty folks, welcome. I'm going to try and get through this as fast as possible because I've already tried to do this 3 times, and every time I've tried it, everything has just become instantly outdated because of more material and more news that has come out in my attempt to try and make this video. So we're going to breeze through this and hopefully no news comes out to contradict anything that I say today. But as of today, the 6th of January, just before 11 AM, this is how the things stand that I'm talking about in this video. Before we begin, it's worth mentioning that there has been a big loss in the footballing world, and that is of Vialli, a Chelsea icon, manager, fantastic player for Italy, has recently, and when I say recently, I mean 20 minutes ago, it was announced that he has passed away at the age of 58. That is a pretty big loss. So rest in peace. Of course, all the best wishes and all the condolences to his family and whatnot. Yeah, that's a big loss. But focusing on the video at hand now, we've come over to Twitter for these sources, and then we're going to take a look at individual things. So let's do that now. So of course, North End himself, pre-match conference for the FA Cup tie tomorrow, which, if this video does come out today, that is. We've got loads of news regarding things that I was going to talk about, which is why I've put this off to re-record it again for the 3rd time. So if we have a look here, we've got word on Reece's injury. It's a knee injury. He's in a brace and on crutches at the moment. He will see a specialist next week, so until then it wouldn't be fair to speculate on the full extent of the injury or timescales, but it doesn't look good at the moment. Originally people were all saying it's ACL and he'll be out for the rest of the season, but of course it's only speculation, and this is Ryan addressing that directly, because everyone's saying it'll be for the rest of the season, but we can't confirm or deny that because we simply don't know, and they don't know either. So that's that first subject being talked about. It's not the main topic of the video, but it's a very important one because that's one more striker down. We only have Evans now. Of course, Parrott has got the green light to come back, as far as I'm aware from what I read yesterday. I haven't got the source, unfortunately. I think it was Lanks Live. Let me try and get that page up really quickly and see if I can find that for you. Oh, well, there we go. Let's talk about this now while it's in our face. Cameron Archer to Middlesbrough and where it leaves Preston North End. Archer has, well, reportedly taken the move to Middlesbrough. Ridsdale has come out publicly on Facebook, believe it or not, in the Preston North End fan group, and has thought, well, he wasn't beefing with fans, but he was making his point very clear that we offered Archer a pretty substantial financial package that was matched to the to one that Middlesbrough offered, and if not, it was greater. There was at no point a financial package we offered to Archer that was less than what he'd get anywhere else. But it was Archer's decision to go to Middlesbrough, and this was also addressed by Ryan Law here. The club financially offered everything and matched all offers to get him, which pleases me as a manager, but ultimately it's his decision for his career, and we'll look elsewhere. It's disappointing, of course, but we have to respect Cameron's decision. Now, of course, it is disappointing. You know, we've all worshipped this boy since he scored that goal, and that's what. And now that he's been reported to be going elsewhere, everyone on Facebook and Twitter are now saying they didn't like him anyway, and people only like him because he scored against Blackpool. And that is partially true, yes. A lot of people love this kid because of what he did for against Blackpool, but at the same time, it's not fair to just say that. Of course, he was a great player. It was more than just about the goal scoring. He scored quality goals, but everything else he was doing as well, bloody fantastic. But anyways, I'll talk about that in just another moment. We'll go back to Parrott for a moment because, of course, as we all remember, Parrott was a player who came in towards the start of the season, didn't do too much, scored a goal and injured himself celebrating, which is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. But without him being in the team, it's been a relatively noticeable difference, in all honesty, because this lad, even though he can't finish, well, which is something we have to work on, of course, he was very good on the ball. He's a very technical player, and that's a good thing about him. But let's have a look here. On the striker, Ryan Law has said, Troy has trained very well over the last 4 or 5 days. We've had the all clear from Tottenham, so he's ready to go. Whether Saturday comes too soon, I'm not too sure. We'll see how it goes. He's been a champion at the bit for a while, and when you've had an injury, you want to get back as soon as possible. I am looking forward to getting him back. He's worked ever so hard, and we'll get him back very soon. And Law has updates to provide on Sean Maguire and Brady as well, which I suppose we may as well talk about that now. And was also asked about Story, which was mentioned on Twitter before. Shawnee is out on the grass. He's just had a little bit of bad luck with a tight calf, as always. We were pushing him back to get in the fold, and he'll be around us today, tomorrow, and maybe he'll join us in training fully next week. We obviously had a few who picked up niggles and whatnot, but Shawnee is on his way back again, and he's our player, so once he's fit and available, he can definitely do what we asked him. He's a good footballer. He just hasn't played many minutes and had a bit of bad luck with injuries, but he'll be available once he's fit. How old is Sean Maguire, actually? I actually don't know how old he is. Where's his wiki page? He's 28, so he's approaching his 30s. He's still got a little bit of juice left in. Oh, voice crack. Oh, not had one of them for a bit. Jordan's back on the grass doing some light work, and Brady's also back on the grass. An illness he had set him back a couple of days, but we'll see how he is. If you ask the two of them, Parrot and Brady, they'd be ready to go for Saturday, but we've got to be cautious. Okay, that's understandable. Brady's absence has been very notable, very, very noticeable actually. So yeah, that's that. But anyways, just looking more on this page here, we've got Ryan Lowe on Team News. It says Jordan's story's back on the grass doing the light work. This is just what I've read. Actually, I didn't have to go to the Lancs Live for that. But if you do want to go anywhere for Preston news outside of me, of course, Lancs Live is your best bet, as well as the Deepdale Digest. This is also a brilliant source for PNE news, and it's relatively reliable for the most part. On Huddersfield Town, we don't want to know about this. I'm not talking about the upcoming game. On transfers, we have irons in the fire. There are a lot of other young strikers out there who can help us develop and who can help us. We have other targets. Okay, so Archer's not the only target. I've just got a ping on my phone that we've got another little bit of news. Not this one. It was from Preston North End Live. Another great page if you don't already follow them. Oh, for fuck's sake. And this is what I mean about recording these videos and they get outdated instantly. It's because the transfer is still fresh. Okay, I was going to go on to talk about Elliot Anderson, Newcastle lad who's been linked with us for a couple of weeks now, and all this and all that, whatever else. This lad's been linked with us for a while now. But now, official sources from Eddie Howe, Newcastle manager, Elliot Anderson will not be moving anywhere. For fuck's sake. I was just about to go and talk about this guy as well. I was just about to go and talk about Elliot Anderson. Oh, good lord. Okay, let's see what Eddie Howe has to say about Anderson. He's very valued by us. He has had a number of niggles over the last couple of months, which we have prevented him from being involved more. He's back to his best condition. He's got a viable role to play with us between now and the end of the season. We will not be loaning him anywhere. Simple as that. Well, ain't that fucking brilliant. Right, well, that's one more target down, I suppose. So, I've just covered that area of the video, so that's good. But as you can tell, there's been a lot of coverage on Anderson as much as there has been coverage on Archer. So that's fun. Right, okay. So we'll talk about... Okay, oh yeah, and this is also something I was about to talk about, which was him potentially going to Birmingham. But if anything, I'd argue him going nowhere is even worse. So that's fun. That is absolutely brilliant. Okay, but then... Okay, last thing. Another player we have been linked with a lot on Twitter is Evan Ferguson from Brighton. And going off of this lad's stats recently as well, this year in the Premier League he's had 3 matches, 2 goals. For under 21s he had 6 matches and 5 goals. Brighton and Hove under 23, 8 goals to under 17 last season and 3 in 11 the season before. And then for under 18, 1-1. So he's obviously had most of his time recently with Brighton and whatnot, and he's developing quite well for 18. And he scores a lot of goals, as you can tell, especially for under 21. He scores goals for fun. So this, and he's Irish as well, which instantly gives us a boost because half our fucking team's Irish. So there you go. But I really don't know if we're going to be in the race to catch this lad, because as far as I'm aware, I've heard no official mention of him. I've only heard a lot of speculation and wishes around Twitter. So take that with a very, very big pinch of salt. He's worth 1.1 million as far as I'm aware as well. I don't know how we're going to go about him. Probably a loan, but loans are only going to hurt us in the long term. So if we take a look at the table as it stands right now, of course Burnley and Sheffield are miles clear, so it's going to be between these teams. We are sat in 10th place right now with 1 point separating us from the next 2 places, 2 points separating us until 6th, and then, oh no, still 5th, sorry, and then 3 points separating us further. So it's definitely not a reach to say that if we win our next match and bizarrely 9th to 4th lose, we're going to 4th. It's as simple as that. Well, actually, no, we won't, because we'll go to 5th because we've got goal difference. But that's what I'm saying. Oh shit, sorry, Mike. Not said that for a bit. It's still not a reach to say that it's impossible for us to get to the playoffs. It's very, very possible. We just need that one big final push in this last bit of the season now, and this is where everything boils down to the recruitment and how we're going to advance forward with these new players. How are we going to deal with injuries? Because, like I said, we've got a lot of players out injured. Brady, Parrot's coming back apparently. Jordan's picked up an injury, which is far from ideal considering how essential he is to this team. But Bambo looked pretty good the other night, so hopefully that will continue. Obviously now Reece is injured, leaving us with only Ched until Maguire gets back, and if we don't sign another striker in this window, that's why everything's so concerning. And that's why PNE Twitter's in a meltdown right now, because no one knows what's going on. We never have any confirmation about anything at all. and everything's kept very vague. I've got another notification. Footy accumulators, what you saying? Any football news? No, it's just betting. They give some good news, those guys. It's not just betting tips. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, by the looks of the news that's been coming out recently, everything's sort of everything's going tits up at once, and especially now with this Newcastle lad going nowhere. So who are our options? Who are the options really? Let's have a look what this page says that we had a look at earlier. That's just what I've read. In the short term, we want them to help us. It wasn't just Archer on the list, there are more players. He was on number 1 ultimately because he'd been here, seen it and done it. He's chosen somewhere else now, so we have to respect that. I'm not going to jinx it. I'm going to touch all the wood in the world right now, but apparently, for over the last 5 days, it's Friday today, I've been hearing about this rumour since Monday, Tuesday, and apparently he was due to undergo medical on Thursday and be revealed on Thursday, Friday. It's still early, so there's still time. But if Archer's not revealed to be a Middlesbrough player by the end of next week, which is it's still a while off, I'd say it's pretty safe to assume that it might only just be a rumour, and he could have changed his mind, or both. So it's too soon to jump to conclusions right now. But again, we can't be saying that because there's no confirmation. Right, let's just have a quick scan through this, see if there's anything of worth. Sometimes it's like the old saying, never bite anyone after a good World Cup. I mean, we've come back after the World Cup and we've been all over the place. So says it, doesn't it? If you get too desperate, it becomes a panic. We've got targets. We know what we want. The phone calls are being made, but again, it's down to personnel whether players want to go out, be part of it. What you have to look at is that there are players up and down leagues who are getting opportunities. If I was to have a guess, we're not going to bring in an Archer, we're not going to bring in an Anderson, we're not going to bring in a Ferguson. We'll end up bringing in someone from League 2 or National League, maybe a Plymouth player or something like that. We'll get a striker from League 1, League 2, and we'll get an attacking midfielder on loan from the Premier League. That's the most we'll probably get out of this window, let's be honest. We're not getting anything else from this, but it is what it is, unfortunately. So as it stands, Preston North End are in a bit of a pickle, to nobody's surprise. I'm just trying to wrap it up because you lot told me to make this video 15 minutes, which if you don't follow me on Twitter, highly suggest you do. Like I said, we're all one big happy family on here. It's not just Preston North End talk, it's also a couple of memes I'll find and share them every now and then, a couple of funny videos and whatnot. Other news, I've got some shit going on about this KSI event. Like I said, more memes. But a lot of it is P&E talk, and if it's not P&E talk, it's just going to be funny clips. That's about it. So yeah, simple as that. Go and chuck us a follow. We've been growing pretty fast on YouTube recently, which I'm immensely grateful for. But if you want to get on the Twitter, we've got 343 followers as it stands. So let's try and get to 350, shall we? But yeah, as I said, everyone's in a panic. There is no confirmation on anything right now. Everything's gone tits up at once, and it's all going wrong. Everything is going very wrong at the minute, and nobody feels confident that we are in a good enough position to advance forward for the rest of the season, because there's going to be teams that are going to be making some big and decent signings in the next coming days, and if we can't do that, then that's it, we're finished, unfortunately. So if we can't have a good January, if we don't get half of our team back on the pitch and learning the way around how we can advance this season, it's safe to say the season's over, hence the panic on Twitter. But thank you all for tuning in. I apologise this is 3 days late, but as you saw during the recording of this video, more information came out while we were recording, so there's not much I can do about that. Knowing my luck, I'll have to make another one of these on Tuesday and say that, yeah, everything else is going wrong again. But the good thing is, well, it's not a good thing, the bad thing is I've been sacked from work because they don't need me no more. So now I've got more time to actually make videos while I'll search for another job, so that's good. But anyways, yeah, thank you all for listening, and once again, I'll update you if anything changes, of course. And if there's anything you want me to cover regarding Preston North End, whether that be transfers, upcoming games, etc, etc, tell me in the comments or tell me on Twitter. Feel free to pop a message to me or just put it in a comment on any post that I make. I'm always open to suggestions. I need content and I want to make videos that you guys want to watch. So yeah, thanks again, let me know and I will update you if anything changes.